Blog Talk Radio.
Hi, and welcome to Mind Shifters Radio with the Forgiveness Doctor, Dr. Michael Ryce. I'm Jeannie. I'm your co-host. The call-in number is 646-200-4169. Or if you're a guest in the chat room and you can't write in the chat room, then you can email me at jeannie@whyagain.com. That's JEANIE at WHY, again, AGAIN.com. We already have David and Tim on the line, and after Michael says his hellos, we will start with a question that we couldn't address yesterday afternoon because we ran out of time. Hi, Michael.
Welcome to the show, everybody. We're delighted to be here to share with you and support you in the process of learning the ancient Aramaic technology of forgiveness, the way that we go inside ourselves and remove what never belonged there. And good morning, Tim. Good morning, David.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hey, welcome. Glad you're here. I'm going to hand the phone over to Jeannie. She had some questions that she saved from yesterday's show, and so we're going to start with that.
I'm not sure that this person is on there yet, but they had asked some questions, and I told them we would address it today, and so they'll be able to go out and pick it up on the archives if they're not out there listening right now. So one of the comments that was going on was when Dayu had called in, and she was talking about, she's a healer and that she was taking on energy from other people, and Michael processed with her that you can't do that what you feel is your own, and that you draw to you circumstances to bring up what you need to heal. And someone else in the chat room wrote they had a lot of issues around that. I won't read the entire script, but basically that they felt like healers were being attacked and that everything that came to them wasn't necessarily theirs, that they didn't ask for it, and that like there was just negative, naysaying people out in the world that like to jump on other healers and give them a hard time. And then they even mentioned, I'm trying to scroll through the whole script to find it, so I apologize. It says 440,000 workers were taken down and sued for using the word energy healing on a flyer. And so I think they kind of felt like all of those 440,000 workers didn't ask for that to come their way, that there was just mean people out in the world that just picked on people, and that the people that were being the quote-unquote victim were not necessarily asking it. And then there was also, they commented that all of these people need help and protection from the NWO Quack Watch, and they are loving people who do their work. So, Michael, can you address that?
I can. And this actually fits very well with our whole conversation about codependence, because the next pseudo solution of the non-being mind that I was going to offer in the series that we've been talking about over the last several days was that I put my pain into my brain's image of you. I feel it, but I don't face it, and I actually think it belongs to and is caused by someone else. And when that happens, whatever it is we're dealing with becomes unresolvable. If you weren't on the show yesterday, you might want to go back and give a listen to the processing that we did with Dayu. And I don't know if Dayu's on the show today. Oh, okay. Well, in any event, I acknowledge her for her willingness to do her work. And the key difference here is if I'm in pain over something, or pardon me, if I'm in pain and it appears to be over something that's happened in my world, I'm telling myself a lie. I'm putting my pain into my brain's image of them, and when I do that, the healing of my pain becomes unresolvable. So Dayu started out the conversation yesterday speaking about someone who called and it sounds like perhaps expected a free session and brought some things up for her, and that she was off balance. And so the conversation went into, well, notice that you were off balance and your whole conversation's about her and what she did. And that's one of the games of the non-being mind. I have pain, but I'm an innocent victim, and my pain has nothing to do with me. My pain is about them, and then the whole conversation ensues about what they did and how they did it and what they said, and then. And the truth is, it's all a lie. Now, if someone comes to me and does something crazy off the wall, and I do agree there are lots out there who would attack healers. Healing is not a very popular thing in the world. And if someone comes with that form of attack, the true healer who has no issue involved there is going to be the space of love, be the space of support for the healing of whatever that's about. But you'll notice that Dayu, when she was willing to go through some forgiveness work, went right back to an event that happened with Dad and a 3-year-old, where she wanted to repeat the behavior that her power person had done to her at the age of 3. And this is one of the things that we know, is that as long as we're functioning out of what we call the body's mind instead of our real mind, which comes from being, as long as we're functioning out of the body's mind, what will tend to happen is we'll function out of the dynamics that come from our power person. And so when we're in what we call carbon-based memory, and your body-mind unit, if you talk to the modern-day physiologist, they'll tell you that the base element of your body is carbon. And so that structure has a memory system, and that memory system has been accumulating data for generations and generations and generations. And as long as one is functioning out of their carbon-based memory system, there are only 3 behaviors possible. And the first behavior is when there's no stress, and it all relates to stress. When there's no stress, this person will do whatever they did to get along with their power person. When stress starts to build, they'll do whatever they did to resist and survive with their power person. And when they become ultra-stressed, they'll do whatever their power person did to them that they hated the most. That's how carbon-based memory runs the show. And so Dayu went back to exactly what her father did that she hated the most. And so a question to ask of someone when they're doing a behavior that is unlike love, when they're in a stressed position, a simple question you can ask someone is, how did it feel when your power person did that to you? Because you know by the fact that they're doing that behavior under stress that that was what their power person did when stressed. And so to start to see that and to crack the core of that pain means we have to take responsibility back. And when we take responsibility back, we have the opportunity to move out of the power person dynamics in ourselves, to forgive the root of our pain. And so if someone shows up in attack mode, they show up in attack mode because I have a defense. There's a wonderful line in the Course in Miracles, in my defenselessness, my power and safety lie. If I hold a defense, I literally set up a measurable, energetic field that will draw someone to me to attack me in precisely the way that I think I need a defense against. Because we live in an energetic world. I think I've shared a few times the work I had the blessing of doing with Marcel Vogel almost 30 years ago. And Marcel had the instrumentation in the laboratory with which to take a picture of the high energy waves that leave the mind when we think a thought. So if I hold a defense, oh no, nobody better come and attack me this way, I'm literally setting up a field that says, hey, would somebody please come and attack me this way? And when they show up, my stress will go up, I'll be in pain. If I know how to forgive, I'll crack the codependent mind, I'll crack the dissociated mind, I'll heal my pain. That circumstance will shift and change. So that's where we want to head with codependence. But if we put our pain into our brain's image of someone else, what happens is we repeat the pattern that the power was established with our power person. And that power person, if you haven't listened to the earlier shows, is a person who had more control over our lives than we did at some stage. It's usually a parent, though not always. And if the parent wasn't functioning as a human being, that is, as love, if love wasn't present in the mind of the parent, then the parent, when it was under stress, when there was pain, when there was turmoil, when there was hostility, when there was fear, would put that pain into the brain's image of the child and then would do some form of aberrant behavior toward the child. The child, watching that modeling happen, will tend to grow up playing the same game. So the parent used the child to avoid being directly responsible for and feeling their pain. And if we never overcome the pattern of the power person, then we do exactly the same thing. We will put our pain into our brain's image of this other person. That's called projection. It doesn't mean, the culture teaches projection is taking something that's inside of you and putting it outside of you. That's nothing to do with projection. That's externalization. Projection is what happens when you take content inside of you and you make pictures of other people out of it. So the parent used the child to avoid facing their pain directly. The child ended up being abused in some way, shape, or form, mildly, subtly, or grossly. It doesn't really matter. And if that pattern has been watched and watched and watched by the child, then they'll tend to grow up and follow the pattern established by the power person. Oh, if I'm in pain, I deny my pain. When I deny my pain, I create a dissociated mind. I create a part of my mind that I'm not in touch with. And when somebody comes along and stimulates or resonates that part of my mind, then I use my pain to build my brain's image of them. And it's really a silly solution because we get to feel the pain continuously over and over and over and over again, but never facing it directly, we can pretend that it was someone else that did it to us. And though we may protest their behavior, the truth is we need to stay in resonance with the power person image so that we don't have to look at, own, and directly face and deal with our pain. And, of course, we have developed the test in this work for determining whether or not a particular painful reality that you're feeling is yours or not. And the test is pretty complicated and pretty difficult to apply, but you can do it. How do you tell if a painful reality that you're experiencing is yours or not? Are you feeling it? If you're feeling it, then you know it's something in your physiology. Now we'll get lots of people who say, oh, no, I'm an empath. I feel other people's pain. Excuse me. You can't feel other people's pain. It's not possible. However, someone else who has a pain similar to yours, expressing it, you tap into the energy, and if you're in pain about what you perceive to be their pain, and you claim to be feeling their pain, the truth is you're feeling your own. And you're putting it into you're doing this power person thing of using them to avoid dealing directly with your own pain. And so the forgiveness process is that of being able to go directly, being able to crack the dissociated mind and its projections, to collapse its projections, and go right directly to the core of the pain that we're feeling. And when we do, then we get to heal. The dynamics change, and we get to play a whole different game. And so we're here to support you. If your physiology has a capacity to produce the form, we invite you to. If you are able to successfully hide that pain until somebody comes along and gives you the look or whatever they do, then that pain is stimulated. It's not them, it's stimulated, it's resonated by them, and they've given you the gift of being able to see that pain directly. And so this pseudo solution of the non-being mind, that is putting your pain into your brain's image of someone else, is a process that can be overcome, that can be changed through forgiveness. And that's what we're here to do, is to engage in the forgiveness process. When we're in pain, and all of a sudden up comes our anger, our rage, our drama, our trauma, those things are drugs that we use to avoid pain directly and perpetuate the power person pattern of putting my pain into my brain's image of you, and therefore becoming a user of you. If your power person used you, you probably are a user. And when you face that and undo it, then all of a sudden you stop doing that, and dynamics change. So that's what we're here to support you in doing. And Terry, David, any questions or comments? Oh, we've got a caller online, so let's have our caller come through. Jeannie, what area code do we have?
407. You're on the air. Who do we have, and where are you calling from?
Hello, 407. How are you this morning?
Is that me?
That's you. You're on.
Me?
And your name
yes,
is,
sir.
You're calling from?
My name is Arlene. I'm calling
Hello,
over
Arlene.
here. How are you?
I'm blessed and highly favored. How about you?
I'm blessed and highly favored myself, sir. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm calling in regards to, I'm in between transition right now. I just moved to Orlando. I'm currently from El Paso. And the thing is that I have a friend of mine, an ex-boyfriend, and I was with him for 10 years. And I moved to Florida to start a new life, new job, new everything. So I'm still in the situation in transition, as you could say. And my friend, well, he's my friend now, wants to come and visit me here in Orlando. And I want to know what his intentions are, if they're honorable or if they're just to see if I'm okay, if I'm safe or what, because I just want to make sure if his intentions are good. That's my main thing.
Well, I think that you're actually wanting to call into a different show on the Angel Radio Network. This show is about showing people how to process and deal with the issues in their lives as opposed to, psychically tuning into and giving people information. So there's another show on Monday mornings that Carol Guy does where she taps in and does that kind of work. So you might want to check with her on that show. But in the meantime, some feedback if you're interested in it, not from the psychic realm, but just from the realm of the tools that we're working with.
Yes, that would be very nice. Thank you.
Cool. So one of the things that, or what we call, I'm going to uproot, I'm going to start a new life somewhere else, is called the geographic cure. And the thing about the geographic cure is everything that you created back in the last place you were in, because you're a creator, if you don't change your internal dynamics, you will tend to create and resonate more people in the same way in the new location. So we offer kind of the tongue-in-cheek thought of, notice that if you take the geographic cure, you go along, and you're a creator, and you create the dynamics in your relationships and in your life. And so one of the things that we suggest people do if it's time to take the geographic cure for them is that they really tap into the forgiveness process and look at the parts of themselves with which they've created the things that they're trying to get away from. Because if you don't change those parts, you'll find yourself, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years down the road playing the same game out. And I take it that you're probably new to the show, so if you go to our website is www.whyagain.com. It's whyagain.com. And on the right-hand side, there's a link that says Download Worksheets. And you might want to just click on that link. And the first two items, the first one is an explanation of the ancient Aramaic forgiveness process. And the second link is the actual step-by-step worksheet process for how do you forgive. And as you utilize that worksheet, what you'll find is the old dynamics that you perhaps have been hiding from yourself and pretending or wanting to blame somebody else for will start to show themselves to you. And when they show themselves to you from the inside, then they're changeable. And you can create a whole new circumstance, whether you're in the same old place. There's the old saying that, no matter where you go, there you are. And this gives you a way to change those dynamics that are, for most people, are just hidden most of their lives. So I might invite you to download the worksheet, follow the direction, and utilize it. There's a show on the archives earlier, I think it was back in February, where we walk somebody through a whole worksheet process from start to finish. You might want to tap into that, give a listen to it, and if that makes sense to you, start doing some worksheets and see what happens. You'll change some of those dynamics. And in the meantime, we certainly hold the space that your friend's intentions are honorable and that they'll be supportive and that you can create the kind of interaction, if he comes to visit, that you really want to be about creating.
Thank you very much.
Jeannie He was just saying the worksheet show was February 22nd. So if you go to the whyagain.com site, you'll find the archives from the beginning of our radio show. And February 22nd is the one where we walk a young lady who was a volunteer who came into the studio and walked her through the reality management forgiveness process. And that's the link I was directing you to. So you might want to download those and give a listen to that show and just go through the process and see what you uncover. And you might find yourself being able to really recreate your life, not just in a new place, but from a whole new place inside yourself.
Okay. That's
Well,
a lot
we
of
hope that's hopeful. And if you do some worksheets, we'd be delighted if you'd give us a call back and let us know what your results are, see what kind of things you see. And, of course, on an ongoing basis, we're here to support people in understanding that process. If there are questions about it or there are things that aren't clear, we'd be delighted to hear back from you. And we hold you in a blessing.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Take care,
and we've got another caller, Jeannie.
Area code 573. You're on the air. Who do we have?
Hi,
where are you
this
calling
is Pam.
from?
Hi, this is Pam from
Pam.
Missouri.
Hi, Pam from Missouri.
This is my first time with your show, and I come in late. So forgive me if I do the wrong thing. But
That's okay. I'll probably
I
never
know
forget
you help healing, and my daughter's friend, Micah, has some kind of a disease, and they can't find what it is, where her feet are literally dying. It's not diabetic. It's they keep looking for blood-borne illnesses, and they really can't find it. And I don't know if I could get prayer for that, or I don't know what to do for her.
Well, I would. Were you listening to the show the last 3 or 4 minutes?
That's when I come in. Yes.
Okay, good. Well, I would suggest that you yourself and your friend go to the website and download that worksheet, download the show where we walk through the worksheet, and get your friend to start tapping into some forgiveness work that might help her to start to see, or him, whoever it is, to start to see what's going on inside themselves that is creating this restriction of energy flow to the feet. You know, we don't get into physical medicine as such. That's not our thing. But we certainly will hold the space of love and prayer. What's her name? Just a first name is all we need.
Micah, M-I-K-A.
Okay.
Micah.
So we'll just hold Micah in a space where she can tap in and start to recognize what it is that's going on in her field that's creating this result in her physiology, and to be able to receive the guidance to do or go wherever she needs to go to get support for this being able to totally clear up and her feet come back to full, awesome function and feeling good. And that's the space we'll pray for and hold for her.
When you do the workshop, do you come away knowing something right then?
Yes.
I'm sorry, workbook. I don't mean workshop. Workbook.
The worksheet. Yeah, there's a actually, you can download the whole book, Why Is This Happening to Me Again, free from the site in any one of several languages, but I'm specifically suggesting that she go to the link that says Download Worksheets.
Okay.
And the first 2 links. The first one is an explanation of the ancient Aramaic forgiveness process. And the forgiveness process in Aramaic hasn't got to do with, I'm going to let you off the hook for what's happening inside of me. It's how I get in touch with the parts of me that I'm cut off from, and I'm able to remove those energies. I'm able to forgive, is to remove that. So I, kind of tongue-in-cheek when you ask me to forgive you, I'll probably never forgive you for that, because we suggest people never forgive anyone. Stop forgiving people, because you can't. That's a Greek idea of pardoning. We've been sold a bill of goods that forgiveness is about, I have something terrible and painful happening inside of me, but I'll let you off the hook for it, which, of course, doesn't address or put me in touch with or change the terrible, painful thing that's happening inside of me. In the Aramaic, you would never be invited to forgive another. You would never be invited to forgive yourself. You'd be handed a tool with which you go inside yourself and get in touch with what you've been hiding from yourself. And we offer that's one of the primary roots of all disease, is what we hide from ourselves. The mind functions through every cell in the body, and where we hide the things we don't want to deal with. And, feet usually have to do with things like understanding or support. And so she might look at some support issues in her life and understanding.
Yeah, she's mad at her she is mad at her ex-husband for not helping her with the kids. So I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't stem from that.
Have you ever heard her say, and we talk, one of the things we talk about in this work is the power phrases we use. Have you ever heard her say things like, I can't stand him?
Oh, all the time, yeah.
Okay, so notice that mind energy goes to the part of the tissue structure that we refer it to. So when I say, I can't stand you, I'm locking an energy into my feet, into my legs.
Oh, because you're standing. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I say I can't stand you, I'm putting, let me give you an example. We had a young man from Illinois back several years ago that had a lot of challenges with his parents. I had a practice in Atlanta at that time, and this young man had moved to Atlanta. He was there for about 5 years, almost totally cut off from his parents. And one day he gets a call from his mother, and his mother says, we're going to Florida. We want to stop and see you on the way through. The first words out of his mouth were, my mother is a pain in the you-know-what.
Oh, right.
The day his parents arrived, he got hemorrhoids.
Ah!
The day his parents left, his hemorrhoids disappeared. The person who says, that's a pain in the neck, ends up with neck problems. The person who says, I can't stand that, ends up with foot and leg problems. The person who says, I can't stomach that, ends up with stomach problems. And the people who use as a power phrase, oh, that really kills me, or that's to die for, well, vibratorily they're heading in a certain direction. You go back to the ancient Aramaic, and the man named Yeshua, who was a physicist, not a theologian, he's popularly known as Jesus, but his name was Yeshua. He said that the power of life and death is in our words. And so you might invite her to listen to this show, download the worksheet, go back to that February 22nd show where we walk somebody through the worksheet and get her starting to resolve some of these issues, and you may find that the energy flow opens back up to her feet, and when it does, they'll just restructure and heal completely.
Okay. I completely understand how your system works now, so I'm glad you explained it all. Thank you very much. Where are you located? I'm from Rolla.
Okay.
Aren't you in Missouri?
Yeah, I'm actually in Pahrump, Nevada right now, or actually in a little town called Charleston View, Nevada, or California right now across the Nevada line. But we have a teaching center called Heartland in the town of Theodosia, Missouri, which is right down the Missouri-Arkansas line, about an hour due east of Branson.
Yes,
so
my
we do
husband grew up in Ava, actually.
Oh, right, right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they're
so right in that area.
You're a neighbor. You're just down the road. Come and visit sometime.
Okay.
We'll be back there the early part of July. We'll be doing the summer season there, and you can check out what's happening at Heartland for the summer on our website.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, blessings. Take care.
Bye.
Okay, we've got a Skype caller. Where are you calling from?
Hi, Michael. It's Les.
Well, hey, Les, it's a delight to hear from you. For those who haven't met Les, this is his first time he's spoken on the show. We've heard lots from Les, and Jen and Bill and Owen, who are a family that are coming from England to spend 3 months with us this summer. It's awesome to talk with you. We're delighted. And Jen's in the chat room. Welcome.
Excellent. How are you?
We are doing well. We're sitting out here in the Mojave Desert. It's about probably 80 degrees, heading into the low 90s today. Sunny, bright, clear skies, an absolutely gorgeous morning. It was cool and really beautiful here. Last night was an awesome evening, and we're doing some workshops in the town about 30 minutes from here, and we're staying with a friend who's a physician here in Pahrump, Nevada, and in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Brilliant. Well, we can't report the same for the UK's weather today.
You haven't reached the 90s yet?
No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure we'll reach that anytime this century. But but we live in hope.
Well, I was born and raised in southern Ontario, Canada, and about 30 years ago, I learned there was a place they had no winter, and I moved south. That was a no-brainer for me. It's like I don't think humans are designed to live in that other stuff.
Excellent. Well, we're really enjoying the shows at the moment, Michael, and enjoying getting stuck into the worksheets. And those last two callers have been really interesting, especially the first lady is, calling in by accident, it seems. That could be the luckiest phone call that she's made. So fantastic information, I think.
We'll hold the space for that.
Excellent. We seem to have a little bit of delay on the call, Michael, which is making it a little bit difficult for us to have a conversation from my end.
Well, we'll just leave a space in between everything we say. We'll create a little bit of a pause so that we allow Skype to catch up with us.
Excellent. Well, I was just phoning in to say hi and thanks for the work that you're doing, and we're really looking forward to joining you in June. We can't wait. We're just busy getting the house ready and getting it all tidy and getting the business sorted before we go away for 3 months, which is the longest we've ever been away. But we're really excited. It feels very appropriate, and the situation about how we've got in touch with you. It's all kind of very synchronous events, and which makes it all the more exciting.
Yeah, it is pretty interesting that you were referred by somebody who knew us but didn't know us, and we had a friend with the same name. That whole thing was quite a happening. And then, as you asked your psychiatrist friend to check us out, him informing you that he'd already done so because at a medical conference they'd suggested he check out our website. I thought that was pretty awesome that a medical conference in England is suggesting to psychiatrists they check out our work. It's pretty cool. Definitely a good thing.
Yeah, I'm looking to get in touch with the mental health guy that put the details of your website to my friend. So I'm hoping to do that in the next week or so. So it'd be interesting to find out where they've found that from, because I'm also in touch with that person. So hopefully that'll kind of shed some more light on it.
Yeah, absolutely, and we'd love to be in touch with him too. If you do catch up with him or her, whoever it is, we'd love to be in touch with them and see if there's any way we can support what they're doing, because we would love to see more of the work. Last year we did the first live workshop we've done in England, and we'd love to see enough of a foundation for us to come back and do more work there as we move the work around the globe. And we're delighted and excited that you're going to do a community building workshop at Heartland this summer. We'll look forward to receiving the flyer on it. And Les and Jan have been training in the community building process and are going to be doing a 2-day workshop at Heartland sometime this summer. We haven't established dates yet, but you can keep an eye on our website. We'll be putting up a flyer and information about that. So it'll be a residential training at some point this summer during or before or after our 65-day intensive. So we look forward to that.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks, Michael. Yeah, we'll try and get a flyer to you sometime early part of next week, and for you to have a look at, and then we can start to advertise it. But we're really excited about doing that as well. It seems like the community building and the work that you're doing is very, very closely linked, and we can't wait to get to Heartland and find out, what the synergy is and what how they complement each other, or how they get in the way of each other.
Well, one of the things I know is anything that works has to be complementary. We have lots of different conceptual languages that we talk about things. And, the scientist talks in terms of science and physics, and the theologian talks in terms of spirituality and God, and the psychologist talks about the unconscious. And the truth is they're all talking about the same thing. I think it was actually Winston Churchill that said we have the privilege of being separated by a common language. And so the psychologist talking or psychiatrist talking about one thing, and the theologian another, and the truth is there's only one thing to talk about, whatever word you want to put to it. And so if you've got something that moves life forward in an upward direction, there's only one common set of principles, though many conceptual languages for expressing it. And for me, that was an insight I had several decades ago, and I've really spent a good part of my life studying how to speak about the truth in as many conceptual languages as possible, because what my experience is that when people hear it in one conceptual language, like, well, that's a nice object over there, isn't that interesting? But when we hear it in several conceptual languages simultaneously, the non-being mind cracks, the non-self cracks and starts to fall apart. And when the non-self starts to fall apart, the true self comes into expression, and it's an awesome experience. Someone who's living out of non-being, someone who's living out of hostility or fear, can't really imagine that's possible because all they see is the content of their own mind project outward. And when we correct that process, all of a sudden, the same circumstance become awesomely supportive and a lot enlivening and fun and exciting that the most depressing, terrible, horrible things possible. So it's a process.
Yeah, it's exciting. I think that's one of the great things about the community building process that we've found is that people can get to a place of talking the same language and understanding and hearing one another in an authentic way. And
right.
And so that it feels really exciting to be coming with that in our tool bag, as it were. And hopefully we'll be going back with many more tools too. So it's we're really looking forward to meeting you all and to having having a nice time while we're there.
Awesome. And David, are you there? Maybe you want to say a quick hello. Have you got anything to share with Les?
Hello, Les. Good to hear your voice.
Hi, David.
Hi. We're looking forward to your arrival and your family. It's going to be very exhilarating to have you visit here. And when you were talking about the 90-degree weather, I was just remembering my visits to England several years ago. My mother is actually from Leeds. And so the 90-degree weather that you're going to experience here in 95-degree weather, it's going to be quite interesting for your family, I think, if you haven't done that before.
Well, that's interesting that you mentioned Leeds, David, because I live in West Yorkshire as well. So and I actually live on the Leeds border. So I'm only kind of 5 or 10 minutes away from Leeds.
Great. Well, and, I'm getting ready to respond to an email that I received from you all the other day. And in support of your family doing the worksheets, I think that's really fabulous of the commitment that your family has made, not only to come here, the commitment to begin doing your work, because that's really what's going to support you through all of the processes, through all and the experiences that you have here. And we look forward to having a long relationship with you all. Who knows? You might stay longer.
Well, that's one of the things that's definitely in the back of our minds is come out and spy out the land and see if we find a home there on a more permanent basis as well. So, but that will kind of unfold as time goes on, as you know. So, excited about the options and the possibilities.
Very good. Well, we look forward to seeing and hearing from you some more, and I'll stay in touch with you with the email, with you through the internet then.
That's brilliant. Yeah, thanks, David. Shall I leave you now as well, Michael?
Sure. I was going to put out the thought. Tim, do you have anything to share with Les at this point?
Well, just congratulations for the decision, and you're not going to be disappointed. You might be turned inside out and upside down, but you won't be disappointed.
Yeah, well, we're very prepared for some challenging times, and we like to take risks in this regard, knowing that if we put ourselves out there, change and growth can happen. So, we don't come with any kind of rose-tinted spectacles, as we say in the UK. We come with our eyes fully wide open, and I'm sure there'll be some surprises and some difficult stuff to deal with, but that's part for the course. So, yeah.
Fabulous. And Jeannie just tells me that Terry is on the line. Terry, do you have anything to share with Les and Jen, Bill, and Owen?
I say welcome and look forward to getting some fresh insights on some different projects here and having some fun.
Yeah, ditto. Yeah, we're really looking forward to it as well, Terry. It's nice to talk to you, and we can't wait to see you on June the 25th.
All right. Well, you travel safely, and we'll look forward to seeing you. And Jeannie's got something in chat room to share with us.
Sam, who is hey, I left you a message actually for Jen, but then she got off the chat room, and so I don't think she has seen the message. I was going to kind of introduce her to Sam. Sam has been doing this work for a long time, and so pass on the information. I invited Sam to come to Heartland and meet you all while you're there. She says, I look back in appreciation of all the opportunities. She said, Michael will constantly remind you while you're there of all the opportunities that you have to heal. And then she put laugh out loud, and she looks back in appreciation at all those opportunities. Oh, he's off there now. So, Les, I hope you heard that. You've disappeared off the switchboard. But anyway, we did have one other comment that when this conversation ended, that they would like for you to address going through the forgiveness process or through the canceling of the goal process. The goal canceling.
When you say address, tell me more about what you're saying.
I just want to know if you'll address it because you mentioned it. You mentioned goal canceling.
Right.
Would you mind to discuss the process?
All right. Well, the word forgive in Aramaic, the word's been translated as forgive, is actually the word shabag. It's S-H-B-A-G. And in Aramaic, it actually translates as to cancel. And, gee, where to start? Actually, the thing you really want to do is download that February 22nd show and listen to it because it goes through the whole forgiveness process, the whole forgiveness worksheet. But just the crux of the matter is that there's some interesting Harvard research that says that in a time frame where 10,000 brain cells fire, the max amount of information that shows up in your mind as your reality is 9 bits. It's a very small fragment. And actually, Jeannie was just doing some research for a paper she was doing for school and came up with some new research that says that it may be as little as 3 to 4 bits of information. And in the same time frame, they've measured approximately 10,000 brain cell firing. So there's a whole lot of activity going on inside of us, and we just get to see a fragment. Something determines which fragment we get to see. That something is the goals that we set. When you set a goal, in essence, what you're saying to your mind is, mind, I want you to give me something that relates to this goal that I've set. Show me a reality. Show me a behavior with which I can accomplish this goal. And so the mind then feeds back whatever that goal links to. And if the goal links to some form of dissociated hostility or fear, then your mind will produce an hostility or a fear-based reality. It can be the most wonderful goal in the world. The problem isn't the goal. The problem is what the goal links to in your mind. And so in order to have a mind that is properly fueled and most intelligent, you need to keep your mind connected to human life, to love. Hostility or fear comes up. That hostility or fear defiles perception. It defiles the 9-bit mind and weakens its ability to serve you. So what happens is when we set a goal or hold a goal for someone else, and that goal links to our dissociated hostility or fear, our mind generates a reality based in that hostility or fear. We project that hostility or fear into our brain's image of ourselves or whoever we set the goal for, and our intelligence is reduced. In order to regain full intelligence, you have to process through the hostility and fear-based mind. And the way that you do that, and it seems strange, but this is the core of forgiveness, is you cancel that goal. When you cancel the goal, again, it can be the most wonderful, most reasonable, most logical. Everybody in the world would want that as a goal. But if it links to your hostility or fear and you cancel it, not because there's anything wrong with the goal, not because it isn't a wonderful goal, but because when you load it in your mind, it links to your hostility or fear, and your capacities are reduced. So when you cancel the goal, you collapse the projection from the dissociated mind. When you collapse the projection from the dissociated mind, you go back directly in touch with whatever's hidden inside of you, whatever has been in the dissociated mind. Then you're empowered to begin to change whatever the content is of your dissociated mind. So if it's hostility, fear, pain, turmoil, whatever, strangely enough, by canceling the goal, you get to access and change that part of your mind. That's the forgiveness process in Aramaic. And, of course, it's totally counterintuitive because the non-being mind says, well, but I deserve this. Why would I cancel my goal for this? Well, I agree with you. You do deserve it. Creator, why haven't you created it yet? It's because there's a whole part of your mind that's in hiding. And you've got to get that sucker out of hiding. You've got to get that hidden part of your mind out of hiding in order to clean it up. Forgiveness is how you do that. And so does that kind of address, and what I would suggest you do is download the February 22nd archive that we were talking about earlier. And there we have a young lady who volunteered to go through the whole forgiveness process. And so we do a worksheet in that hour. So if you go to our website, www.whyagain.com, on the right-hand side, there's a link that says Download Worksheets. Download the first two links. The first one is an explanation of the forgiveness process. The second one is the worksheet itself. That February 22nd archive walks you all the way through the forgiveness process. And as you start to put the pen to the paper, you'll find all sorts of interesting things in your mind that you never knew were there. It was awesome to be able to do that. Our phone number, if you have a question for us or a comment or anything to share about your worksheet process, any refinements on the worksheet process, or any of the tools we teach, please give us a call. Our phone number is 646-200-4169.
Michael?
And we've got a caller. Oh, go ahead. Tim, was that your voice I heard?
Yes, I was just going to say you asked yesterday about, miracles in the support group, and there was one that came up on Tuesday. Somebody reminded me about it yesterday, that one of our members who's been doing worksheets and EFT tapping for this past 12 months or so made the announcement in the group yesterday that this is the first school year in 8 years that she has not had multiple trips to the hospital. For
awesome.
What she said was, because she has 2 genetic disorders, and I challenged her to reword that to say, because the belief is I have 2 genetic disorders related to her lungs. But she's gone now for this last 8 months, the entire school year, without a single trip to the hospital, and she shared that with us. She feels it's directly related to this work and the EFT tapping.
That's awesome. Well, I don't know if I've ever shared my history with you, but the first year of my life, I was almost dead 2 or 3 times from lung problems. And the first 25 years of my life, I lived on an inhalator and pills. And I realized that was killing me, that, well, it may have saved my life and may have allowed me to carry on. I carried on in a drug state continuously, and I recognized it was destroying me. And so that was really what began my pursuit into the area of healing, and ultimately what led to me finding the Aramaic teachings of Yeshua. When I met Jeannie about 6 years ago, she didn't go anywhere without her inhalator, her breathing support. How long has it been since you've had one of those in your hand?
It's been at least 6 years.
So it didn't take long, and that was gone. So, yeah, we've got a lot more power than we realized, and the miracles that happen, and they call it physical, but the truth is it's not physical, because when you look at how the world really works, there's nothing physical about it. It's an energetic world, and when we start to see things through the eyes of energy, oh boy, do we have a lot more power than we realized. So thank you for sharing that miracle. That's awesome. And we've got a caller, Jeannie.
Oh, well, we did. They disappeared. If you're still out there, call back in. You were next in queue.
Okay. We lost our caller. Bummer. In any event, any other conversation in the chat room that we should be aware of, sweetie?
Tim gave me a link or some information to find a link for Marcel Vogel, so some people had asked about him. So I'll be putting that out on the website under links. And then also Les sent us information for his and Jen's website for community building, so I'll be putting that out on their website as well.
Fabulous. And we'll be doing a 2-day community building workshop, residential workshop at Heartland. So anybody who wants to look into signing up for that, we'll have a flyer on our website within a few days, and we'll be doing that this summer with Les and Jen from England. So we're down to 9 minutes. If we have any questions, any comments, we'd love to hear from you. Tim, David, Terry? Oh, here our caller came back. Oh, it's a different caller. Okay.
Area code 804, you're on the air. Who do we have?
Hello, this is Edward, your number one fan in Las Vegas. How are you, Michael? How are you, Jeannie?
Well, hey there, young man. I'm absolutely blessed and highly favored, and Jeannie is?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for calling in, Edward.
My pleasure. And we are in the formation of our new group here in Vegas, and people were just mesmerized last night by listening to the process of collapsing, and a great deal of healing took place last night thanks to you folks. And my question to you today is it possible to get a CD of this February 22nd archive? And whatever it costs is just fine, but it's obviously the key to true forgiveness. And you know how I am. I'm going to go for the jugular vein of Michael and Jeannie because I will worship the ground you're on.
Well, we'll invite you to let go of that, but you don't have email at this point, do you, Edward?
No, sir.
I'll tell you what, I'll see if we can send a link to Marie, and then Marie could download it for you. We don't have the facilities right now to put these on CD, although probably we will create that at some point. But, you know, I don't think I've shared this with you, Edward, but sometimes I feel like the guy at the circus, that's spinning the plates, you know?
Yes,
and
sir.
Have to give every plate just enough attention to keep it moving. And
I understand.
We've got things going on all over the globe.
You're just an overachiever, Michael. I know that about you. And you're so loved in Las Vegas, and a couple of people last night had experienced tremendous healings from you people, and it was very inspirational over at the Unity Center. So hopefully you might be back in our group before you leave town, and I would certainly like to have the opportunity to take you folks to dinner before you do leave.
Well, we are planning, and for anybody that's in the Las Vegas area, every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock, Reverend Sophia Falke at Unity of the Valley over at Pecos and Sunset is doing a Mind Shifter support group, and we will be there, at least barring, the creek don't rise.
Yes.
We are planning to be there next Wednesday to head up the support group again. So
fantastic.
We'll be there when we get back into Vegas, and we'll make some arrangements to get together.
Great. Well, thanks for such a wonderful talk show. Be well and have a safe trip.
Okay, delighted. Thanks for calling in.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So, David, Tim, Terry, anything else to share?
Well, a week from tomorrow, I'm supposed to be giving a 10-minute presentation on the value of canceling goals. So I'm going to try and collapse your entire 2-hour lecture into 10 minutes. Wish me luck.
All right. Well, that's when you're getting good at it, when you can say it in a shorter and shorter time period.
Yeah, I gave him a set of bullet points, and I'm concerned about even getting those bullet points in. But so I'll let you know how that goes. We'll have an audience of about 50 next Friday to hear about the value of canceling your goals.
And what kind of a group is this that you're presenting at?
It's called Engaging Speakers, and I've been the executive director for this group for the past 5 years. and it's a group of people who are trying to develop their public speaking skills and use them to promote their business.
Oh, cool. Well, maybe we can put it out. If there's anybody in the Crystal Lake area, you might want to contact Dr. Kim. If you drop Jeannie an email, you can reach, and we'll pass it on to him. And maybe somebody else in that area would like to come and join you. That's cool. Awesome.
Yeah, I'll let you know how it goes.
All right, fabulous. And the things that are happening here, we've actually got a support group in Pahrump, Nevada at Healthcare Partners tonight at 7 o'clock. We'll be doing a support group if anybody's in Pahrump. And mark your calendar for next Wednesday's show. Make sure you're on it. We're going to have Dr. Stephen Andraki. This is a physician who's actually drawn us out to Las Vegas for the second time in 5 months. And the first time we were here for about a month, and we're into 5 weeks now, I think, and we're going to be here at least another 2 or 3 weeks. So Dr. Andraki will be hosting the show with me and talking about his perspectives on forgiveness in medicine and how to support people in being responsible for their health and healing. So we're also we've just scheduled a 2-day kind of a mini intensive that we're planning to do at Tacoma Hot Springs. This will be the third one we've done since we've been back here over the last several weeks. And so May the 21st and 22nd, we'll be at Tacoma Hot Springs Resort doing an intensive, and the workshops will cover in that. Will actually be a Saturday, is the May the 21st. We'll be doing, starting at 9 in the morning and doing Why Is This Happening to Me Again? Empowered to Heal. Communication, did you hear what I think I said? And carrying on through to Sunday, we'll do Mind Shifters and Still Point Breathing. So we'll be doing a long day on Saturday from 9 in the morning till 10 at night, very intensive process, and 9 until about 6 on Sunday. So if anybody's in the Nevada, California area, we'll be in Tacoma, California, which is about an hour and a half west of Las Vegas, doing that mini intensive. So we'd love to have you come and join us if that's appropriate. Well, I think we've, unless there's anything else for anybody to share, any questions in the chat room, we've got another of the pseudo solutions of the non-being mind from our codependence workshop. And by the way, if you want to get that whole workshop in one shot, the DVD is available on our website under Order Products. So the next pseudo solution of the non-being mind is to take the easy way. I'll just do what everybody else does, the way the world does it. And people who take this solution usually look at what it's going to take to move in the direction of living a life actually based in their human beingness, which is love, and they look at that and they say, well, gee, that just looks like so much work. That's so hard. And actually, living in hostility and fear and the repeated patterns, the relationship patterns, the financial patterns, the health patterns that flow from that, that's really a hard way to live. Living and being is easy. However, if your genetics and your family system and your culture are patterned out of hostility and fear, it's effortless to live in hostility and fear. It takes no effort whatsoever. You can just slide into that stuff. It'll just roll off your tongue like it's natural. And I would offer it's not natural. It's truly aberrant behavior. And the hardest thing to bear and to live in is this drama and trauma game that most people live in. And when we decide to come off of the unconscious autopilot and take responsibility for our lives, we get to live in a world where we have to effort living as love, and the effort that's involved is the removal of the hostility and fear. That's the forgiveness process that we're inviting you to do. And so as you engage in that forgiveness process, recognize that life gets easier and easier and more delightful, more enlivening by the minute, because we're designed as human beings to live in aliveness, in joy, in creativity. Let go of taking the easy way, following the old genetic patterns that seem to be effortless but lead to a life of hell, and move back to a world where you're designed to live. Wake up from your story. Wake up from your defense. And as you do, you create a space where you get to live the best year yet of your eternal life. And everyone just gets better and better. We hold you in a blessing. Bring a stranger with you to tomorrow's show. We'll look forward to hearing from you. Blessings. Bye-bye.